I think this is a good, I'm grateful that you're having this conversation because we recently lost a friend to an overdose. I've lost two friends to overdoses in the past 2 years. Um, what's your advice to family members and people who are like super, super close to people when it comes to grieving? Because it seems like, people have expectations of how you should grieve almost, and there just doesn't seem to be any set way, and you've got to just do your best.
Yeah, I wish I was like through this process and able to give some like huge insight and wisdom, but like I feel like some days I feel okay and I'm like, okay, here it is. I'm getting better. Like things are gonna get better from now on. And then 2 days later I'm on the floor and I can't get up and I just need the world to go away. And it's just such a crazy thing to go through. I was so close with my brothers. I raised them pretty much like my mom worked nights. I'd get up with them in the morning, take them to school, babysit them all the time. Even when I moved out of the house, they were at my house every weekend. Like they were my kids. Are, I guess, still. So I have 4 brothers, so there's a lot of brothers. But yeah, for me, this has given me a huge opportunity to look at what's really necessary in my life. And one thing I've learned is going through trauma and going through grief and these sort of things, whatever you do to get through it becomes a habit, but it becomes a good space to create new habits. So if there's something in your life, like as soon as my brother passed, I just had like this clarity of like, this is what I want my life to look like. I don't want to waste any more time. Like this could all be over tomorrow. And so I really rode on that for a while, and I started creating new habits for myself through this grief and everything, and really was intentionally picking healthy coping mechanisms to get through this, because I've been through trauma before where it's taken me down the other road, and I really don't want to relapse. I didn't want to go backwards. So yeah, I think I'm really lucky though that I had 4 years of recovery and I had practice at doing these things before my brother passed away, so that it was more already ingrained in me to like pick up the phone and call for help and get outside and move and talk to friends and, stay in groups, go to meetings, go to grief counseling. Like I picked up every tool I could find to just heal right away. I recently started going on medication because the depression got really bad. And that was something I fought for a really long time. And I think my advice for that would be, if you need it, like take it. It has helped me a little bit. It's not the answer to everything though. Like I still feel grief deeply, but it has kind of made it easier to get out of bed and just do the things I need to do during the day to take care of myself. And like I said, I've gotten really selfish through this whole process. Like some of it's good and some of it's bad. There's like, I'm taking care of my body and my health and my mental health and my mental well-being. And I know that's good for me. Like I really need to do those things. And I love how you put that those are not me. Those are outside of me. They're my material, right? So taking care of myself is really important. But it does slip into self-pity so quickly that I think being really mindful of that's important. And when you're sitting in self-pity, to reach out and call somebody and talk it out and get a real perspective, because my mind will tell me that I am absolutely worthless. Nobody gives a shit. Like I'm totally alone. Nobody understands. And I can stay there if I don't get that out and talk to a human that's not me about it, who's not in my skin and not in my head and can remind me that these thoughts aren't true. And then also being of service. So I work with people in recovery. I've let go of a lot of my responsibilities in terms of doing service work. And I just kind of make it like, as I'm available, I'll be there and I'll help and I'll show up to serve, but I don't put pressure on myself to do those things anymore. I really just try to relieve pressure off of my back and show up as best as I can every day.